Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to cilinixfxcapital. Hope you're all doing great. Hope you're having a great week, and welcome to this new video right here on Bitcoin. We're going to do a full update. I mean, honestly, at this point of time, it's the market is relatively stable, and I expect it to remain relatively stable because, first of all, when we're talking about today, it's Juneteenth in the United States, so that means that the markets are closed to general financial markets. So then the volume in general will be much lower, and then the Asian and the European session over the course of the week have been relatively quiet as well, right? On Monday it was quite a lot of momentum and quite a lot of volume as well, but at this point of time there's not much, right? So I expect stability. That's also in line, I would say, with the FOMC results of yesterday. If you joined the live stream, then amazing. I always enjoy those live streams very much, but as most of you know, the FOMC meeting itself and everything that came out of it was a bit of a nothing burger. Nothing had really changed compared to the last meeting, which I would say is actually relatively bearish. I expected that there would be a little bit more of a positive tone, but alright, we did not get that. So now we're back to watching the other fundamentals, and I'm talking about the general unrest in the Middle East, of course. At this point of time, oil is still trading very high. Gold has pulled back a little bit, and the volatility index is also still quite high, so it's a bit of a mixed image. Personally, I mean, I think very high oil prices, which, at this point of time, if you zoom all the way out, are they very high? Not necessarily, but increasing oil prices are quite bad. So ultimately, I do still think escalation in the Middle East is a possibility, of course. I also made a full video on that yesterday, by the way. If you're interested a little bit more in all the possibilities from the conflict, check that out. You can see it right here. It's quite clear. It's the Israel-Iran analysis right here. So check that out if you're interested in that. But for now, I would say, if you zoom out here as well, that Bitcoin is around the point of control here, around a very high liquidity zone around 105 and 104,500. I think will remain stable in there. And then we have some imbalances and some resistance levels to the upside. I think we can bounce up to those. I would slightly actually say, as long as we don't get any bearish fundamental updates, I would say technically it's a little bit more likely to get some bullish pressure here actually. But then we have major resistance right here. First of all, already at 106,000. But then also a little bit higher at 106.8. Breaking above that, I don't see that happening, right? I think for a real deviation or a real breakout, I think is the better word for it. I do think we need something fundamental to jump in, right? So that could be something economically fundamental. I mean, maybe tomorrow we get some. Do we get some data tomorrow? No. So yeah, it looks to me like that has to come from more political fundamentals to get a breakout. And until then, I think we'll just remain rotational within this value, within this range right here. Like I said, once more between 103.6 and 107,000. So that does mean, and I think that's also a little bit in line with the price action we've seen after the FOMC yesterday, which was actually quite constructive, quite strong. I would say it's a little bit more likely to get some bullish momentum here, as long as the price action remains mostly technical, and then once we get some fundamental price action in motion, then we can talk about some breakouts. But yeah, quite boring. But that is, but yeah, I mean, sometimes these videos are boring. I just try to tell you, what I think is most likely and what I think you need to know, and that is this. All right. So hopefully that helps. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.